Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to talk about this beautiful 2022 Ford Mach E premium rear-wheel drive that we have for sale. One awesome battery electric vehicle. The Mach E is Ford's from the ground up, purpose-built, completely electric vehicle. This one has a fully charged range of about 250 miles with a full battery. And you have a charger that has an adapter, so you can either charge this on a 110 outlet, so basically a regular 3-prong wall outlet you can charge this on. Then we have an adapter, so if you want to upgrade your home charging to a 220 outlet, you can charge faster. So with a wall outlet, you'll get anywhere from about 3 to 5 miles an hour from just a regular 110 outlet, or with the 220 outlet and that adapter, you can probably add about 20 miles of range per hour. So depending on how much you drive, like for me, I have a Tesla Model 3. I only drive about 30 miles a day, so I don't need a high capacity outlet. I can do all my charging. I can get about 60 miles of charging overnight. I come home at 7, leave at 9 the next morning. So I can get about 60 miles of charge overnight, which is more than enough for my daily use. And of course, in the weekends, if I go a little bit under, I can charge, catch up. But you also have the ability for DC fast charging. So if you're on the road, you're on a road trip or something like that, or maybe you want to top off your charging, you have a DC fast charging, Electrify America. They're popping up everywhere. So you can go in and you can get a full charge in about 45 minutes. And there's also, charging EV chargers popping up at malls and parking garages and stuff like that. So there's a lot of charging options, and I'm pretty sure the navigation system can help you find and navigate you to charging. So the Mach E is a brand new battery electric vehicle, and this one is in pretty much new condition. It's technically new. So the deal with this one is someone just keeping it real. The Mach E is very hot, so why are we selling this 2022 Mach E with only 85 miles on it? How did we get it? What happened? Well, I bought this at the auction. A lot of car dealerships buy vehicles at the auction. My guess is someone was able to buy a Mach E at a good price, and they flipped it at the auction. Just keeping it real. Generally Ford dealerships selling brand new Mach E's right now, they're second stickering them. And on the used market, they're commanding higher prices than MSRP. That's just the state of the market right now. We've sold lots of Mach E's. They're popular for us, so I'm going to keep on buying them. So someone was able to buy one without probably markup at a Ford dealership, and they flipped it, made a little bit of money. I had to buy at the auction. I had to be the highest bidder. There's lots of Ford stores, a lot of other dealerships wanting to bid on this Mach E. It's a hot product. I won, and now we're selling it as a vehicle. So basically, technically, it's new. It only has 85 miles on it. You can see it still has a plastic on the screen, even has a plastic on that screen as well. The battery has never been charged. It still has the juice from the factory when it took delivery. So technically it's used because someone purchased it and they registered it. So when this vehicle is registered, that's the first owner, and that's when the warranty went into effect. So maybe 2 or 3 months ago, the first owner purchased the vehicle, they registered it, entitled it. That's when the warranty went into effect, so that's when the warranty will start. So it should still have almost all the warranty, aside maybe from 2 or 3 months ago when it was put into effect. And so yes, technically it's a used vehicle, but 85 miles, still plastic on it. It's really, aside from a couple of months short on the warranty, it's pretty much the same Mach E that you'd get from a Ford dealership, except you're buying it from an Infiniti store. So that's how we got it, and that's the story behind it. So this is the premium model, so it's very nicely equipped with features. You have a little bit of upgraded interior with the premium. You have this nice perforated leatherette contrast stitching. You have a panoramic roof panel. It doesn't open, but it does a great job filtering out the light. And then, we're finding a lot of EVs now, they're just switching to roof panels that don't open, kind of like Tesla, because when you have a sunroof that opens, that adds weight. And it also can have issues with wind noise. Some of the earlier Teslas had these really big roof panels that would open, but they would break, and then they would whistle and make wind noise. So I think the majority of the industry, they're just switching to these big glass roof panels. It's simpler, it's lighter, less complicated. And we do a lot of business with EVs. I have a great selection right now in stock. Obviously, Teslas are some of the most popular battery electric vehicles right now. I own a Tesla myself. I think EVs are the future. I think EVs are superior to gas vehicles in almost every way. Don't get me wrong, I love big V8 engines, manual transmissions for fun, but when it comes to daily driving, maintenance, and efficiency, you can't beat battery electric vehicles. And your house is the gas station. You go home, you plug it in, you wake up the next day, you have a full charge. So of a 250-mile range, most people don't drive more than 100 miles a day. So for most people, 250 miles will allow this to be their only vehicle. It'll allow them to do what they need to do. And even if you're traveling on a road trip with the DC fast charging, that makes it a very easy vehicle to live with every day, and you don't need a gas car anymore. Or like us in our family, we have 2 gas cars and we have an EV, so it gives us some opportunities. I have a van, I have a crossover SUV, and I have my little Model 3. So for daily driving, commuting, things like that, we use the Model 3 as much as possible. If we need space or we need all-wheel drive, we take the the crossover, or we take the van. So a lot of different options for people as far as EV goes. It doesn't need to be your only car, but like I said, with how much range they have in these things, most people can easily have the battery electric vehicles now as their only vehicles. They don't need to have it like as a secondary commuter car. And the thing about Teslas, as much as I love my Tesla, not everyone likes Teslas. Not everyone's crazy about Elon. With Tesla, my Model 3, you just have a screen here. So it's a little bit of a learning curve. It's like a smartphone on wheels. And not everyone is crazy about the way it looks and the way it drives and the functionality of it. If you want a battery electric vehicle, but you don't want to go through a huge learning curve, you want a battery electric vehicle that kind of is similar to operation as a gas car, well, the Mach E is a lot more along those lines. I mean, it's a little bit different than, I guess, gas cars, but it's got a start button, it's got a gear selector. It's a lot more along the lines of a car that you're used to driving versus a huge leap into something futuristic like a Tesla. So you have a screen here giving you how fast you're going. It tells you your gear selector, your range, and percentage of battery. You have a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. We have some great driving assistance. This has advanced driver assistance features, Blue Cruise, Ford Co-Pilot 360, so you have traffic aware cruise control that can move with the flow of traffic, can also keep it centered in its lane for nice driving, and takes a big workload off of you when driving on the highway. We have a wireless charging pad, heated seats, heated steering wheel. We have a nice big screen. They kind of copied Tesla a little bit as far as the screen goes, but it's not quite as complex. Not quite as complex as the screen on the Tesla. It's a little bit more intuitive in a lot of ways. Not as deep of menus, kind of like, I kind of analogize, using a Tesla, it's almost like using an iPhone for the first time. You really have to take your time to figure out your way around all the menus and stuff. To turn on the windshield wipers, to do almost everything with a Tesla, you have to do it through the screen, where you have a light switch here, your wipers there, your cruise control buttons. It's a little bit more like along the lines of cars that most people are used to driving. And the Mach E, even though it's a crossover SUV, Ford takes the Mustang name seriously, so I thought it was a little bit sacrilegious, to be honest with you, that they were going to call a crossover electric vehicle a Mustang. But the reality is, with the weight of the battery so low and the amazing performance of electric vehicles, this thing's very quick, 0 to 60 right around 5 seconds. With a low center of gravity from the weight of the battery so low, this thing handles like a sports car. So even though it is a crossover SUV, it does give you handling and performance along the lines of what you'd get from a Mustang. And a cool thing too is Ford did away with the door handles. Door handles add weight and complexity. It also kind of ruins the nice streamlined look of vehicles. So Ford just has this little handle here, and then they don't even have any handles in the back. You just hit that button right there, pops open, and then you just pull it open like that. I would say, the most comparable Tesla product to the Mach E would be the Tesla Model Y. Size, space, price point are very similar. So the Mach E is available with rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Generally, you get a little bit better efficiency with rear-wheel drive. My Tesla's rear-wheel drive, I could have gotten an all-wheel drive one, but I wanted, a little bit more better efficiency. I wasn't crazy about, necessarily having the biggest battery and the longest range. but I wanted the best efficiency. And generally with rear-wheel drive battery electric vehicles, you get a little better efficiency because you just have one electric motor. When you go to all-wheel drive, they have an electric motor in the back and they have an electric motor in the front. So having two electric motors, that's going to add weight to the vehicle, and weight is your enemy in battery electric vehicles because weight decreases range. And also having two electric motors versus one, I wouldn't say might, but most likely will use a little bit more juice, a little bit more electricity, drain your battery a little bit faster than just having one electric motor. You know, that's a little bit more speculative on my part, but if you look at the range of a comparable all-wheel drive version of this Mach E with the same battery size, you'll see that the range is about 20 miles shorter. And another cool thing, and Ford took advantage of this, not all battery electric vehicles have frunks, but they did take a page from the Tesla playbook and they added a very large frunk. Some of the other battery electric vehicles, and it's actually disappointing, where they keep all this space just for, you know, servicing the vehicle, accessing brake fluid and things like that. That's a total waste. There is so much useful space here. Why not have extra storage in the form of a frunk? Obviously Ford has done that, and they went a little bit of a step further than Tesla did. Look at this. You have a drain hole right there, so you can actually put ice in here and use it as a cooler. So if you want to have like a cookout or a party in the woods, you could, you know, chill your beer and sodas and stuff in there, food. And then when it starts to melt, you have a little drain in the bottom. The looks and lines of the Mach E are really beautiful. You know, crossover SUVs are very practical these days, so it's kind of wise that they decided to use a crossover for one of their first battery electric vehicles. But you have beautiful chiseled lines, great performance, great visibility, lots of cargo space. It is quite a tremendous product. We have shipping not worldwide, but shipping throughout the US. And then we have complimentary shipping to Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. I can put this in our car hauler. We can tow it to you. So for our mobile delivery service, you can have this beautiful Mach E, potentially without leaving your neighborhood or even your driveway. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.